What's good, Commanders fans? So day one of the draft is complete. Adam Peters did say that he tried to trade up. I'm gonna try to find the quote here real quick, word for word what he said. But he did try to trade up. Obviously, Jordan Morgan went in the first round. A couple tackles went in the first round. Amarius Mims, he went pretty high. He went a little bit higher than what I expected. But yeah, a couple guys went already, but there's a lot of talent, man. There's a lot of talent that's still out there, like Adonai Mitchell, Kingsley Samatia from BYU. There's a couple tackles left out there. Kool-Aid is available, the corner from Bama. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Cooper DeJean from Iowa is available. He's when he's running, he looks like he's shot out of a cannon. He's versatile. Can be a punt returner as well, kick returner. Solid corner, solid slot corner. Kool-Aid's very physical. He can be the prodigy, the corner, the Joe Witt Jr. corner. Where Joe Witt Jr. He helped Trayvon Diggs get better. Look at what's the corner's name from the Cowboys who has set the record against us with the pick six on Sam Howell. I'm just blanking on the young man's name, but he set that record on Thanksgiving against us, and Joe Witt Jr. helped motor his game. So he could be he could be the next guy in line, the next young corner that has really excelled under Joe Witt Jr. Like Tyler Fuaga went pick 11, Amarius Mims went pick 18, Troy Fattenu pick 20, Jordan Morgan went pick 25. So the Tyler Guyton went pick 29. Remember, Ryan Fowler was like, oh, they're going to trade up. And Tyler Guyton is the guy that they're really zeroing in on. So he's going. Ricky Pearsall being drafted at 31. That really hurt my heart a little bit. I talked about him earlier after in my Jayden Daniels video. He's the guy that I really wanted to draft. I thought he was going to be available like in the second or third round. But the Niners, and that's the thing with Aiyuk. So Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk, they are live together right now. They are on they're on Instagram Live right now. So they're talking together. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Adam Peters pulls some strings. But the Niners drafted Ricky Pearsall. That tells me that Brandon Aiyuk is going. And then there's a report. There was a tweet that came out from a beat reporter that said either Deebo Samuel or Brandon Aiyuk may be traded. Now, I think honestly it's going to be Aiyuk because Aiyuk's the one that requested a trade reportedly. So we know the connection with Jayden Daniels and Aiyuk at Arizona State. Ricky Pearsall with Arizona State too and played with Jayden Daniels. So that would have been great. But if they can get Aiyuk, I like I said yesterday, I said this in my stream, I'm not banging on the table for Aiyuk. But if they trade like a second round pick and a fifth or something like that, you look at the Stephon Diggs trade, they didn't really give up much. The Texans didn't have to give up a first round pick. They didn't have to give up much for Stephon Diggs. Honestly, I thought they gave up there was some good draft capital that they gave up. But, they didn't really have to give up a lot, in my opinion, to get Stephon Diggs. And, yeah, they gave up a second-round pick and a fifth. They gave up a second-round pick. 2024, they gave up a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. So, I mean, honestly, you look at what the Texans are doing. You look at what the Bears are doing. They surrounded Caleb Williams with talent, DJ Moore. They drafted Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen. They brought him in. So, you kind of want to do the same thing for your young quarterback. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I love when teams are aggressive. Look what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. They brought in an A.J. Brown. They just gave him an extension. So, you see a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. So you see what teams are doing for the young quarterbacks. You kind of want to see us do the same thing. Have Terry, Jahan, and Brandon Aiyuk. That's a nasty trio. A nasty, nasty trio. So that's a nasty receiving core right there. Nasty trio. All guys can create separation, get open. So that would make it so much easier for Jayden Daniels, just like how you have Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. So we'll see what the guys talk about. And Rappaport actually did say the report where Adam Peters said, it was a year ago before the Heisman season. Of course, he was like, yeah. He told Aiyuk, and I think Aiyuk told Jayden Daniels that Adam Peters thinks, he wouldn't really draft. He's like a sixth-round type of guy. And at the time, that was probably true. I mean, Adam Peters was telling him the truth. So Jayden Daniels, I guess he took the fuel to the fire and improved, So, I mean, you can't really get mad for Adam Peters giving an honest assessment. But that report is true. I know that was reported on the radio that was the case. And I guess Ian Rappaport came out and said that was true, what Adam Peters had to say a couple years ago or a year ago about Jayden Daniels. But Jayden Daniels and Aiyuk, like I said, keep your eyes open. Josina Anderson reported that, and they are on Instagram Live currently right now. So we'll see if that amounts to anything. I wouldn't get my hopes up or anything like that. Like I said, I'm not banging on the table for that move to happen. But, all right, let's look at the list of guys that are available tomorrow. There's a couple good linebackers available. We're just not really in the market for a linebacker. It's crazy that at the time that we're really not in the market for a linebacker. There's when a bunch of good linebackers are available, like Peyton Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper, guys like that. Like a lot of guys are really, really available at the linebacker spot. But Adonai Mitchell, he was cooking Kool-Aid. And that's who I really want Adonai Mitchell, man. I thought the Ravens were gonna take him, but they ended up not taking him. Keon Coleman, the wide receivers available. Lad McConkey from Georgia, I like him. He can create separation. Adonai Mitchell, Jalen Polk is a speedy wide receiver. Jackson Powers Johnson, I don't think we're gonna get him. Zach Frazier, I don't think we're gonna get him. But you really look at Kingsley. I'll just say Kingsley from BYU. Roger Rosengarten, who played right tackle. Now Kingsley played right tackle, and he played a lot of left tackle his last season. But Roger Rosengarten played mostly right tackle, protecting Michael Penix, who's a left-handed quarterback. Patrick Paul is available. Kyron these are some unique names, so the pronunciation, I'm trying to work on these guys. Kyron Amagadije, he is another offensive lineman who's available. So there's some offensive linemen now. A lot of the more talented ones already went in the first round, but there's a couple guys that are still available out there that we could definitely get. Tez Walker, the wide receiver from Carolina. Brendan Rice from USC. My guy Jermaine Burton from Alabama is available. All the tight ends, Jatavion Sanders, Ben Sinnott, Theo Johnson from Penn State, Jared Wiley from TCU. There's so many guys that are still available. There's so much talent left out there that we could get for sure. You look at Kool-Aid. He had a good game against LSU. Like I said, he struggled against Adonai Mitchell, but he had a really good game against LSU. He played really, really well against Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, two top flight wide receivers. So you look at that game, the way he's playing, they barely targeted Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid can play press man, he can play zone, he's a versatile corner. So there's a lot of things that he can do, man. A lot of things that he can do. Troy Franklin from Oregon, Tyler Newman from Minnesota, Roman Wilson from Michigan. I'm not too high on him, a slot receiver. They did have a top 30 visit with him. I wouldn't mind him. Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M, like I said, linebacker, solid linebacker, did a good job against Milroe from Alabama. He was able to track him down. He actually did a good job tracking down Jayden Daniels too, but I highly doubt we get a linebacker for sure. Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky had a lot of manufactured touches, like screen passes, but he's a tough runner. He's a yak guy for sure. And Ennis Rackstraw from Missouri, Keon Coleman, talked about him. He doesn't really create a lot of separation. Hands a little iffy, so that's why I'm not super high on Keon Coleman, but he is talented for sure. Jermaine Burton is at the top of the list for me, and Adonai Mitchell. Those are the two guys I really like at the wide receiver spot, and Lad McConkey. That's who I'm really looking at the wide receiver spot. And Brandon Coleman from TCU is still out there too. There's a lot of reported interest from Ben Standig and other beat reporters. Ben Sinnott talked about him, Jatavion Sanders, Blake Fisher from Notre Dame as well. So if there's any other guys that I missed, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And Adam Peters, not mad that he was not able to trade up. A little disappointed, but when you have 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, or just multiple picks in the second and third round, you still have a lot of ammo. There's still a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of slippers out there. A lot of good players that have dropped. Chris Braswell, the edge from Alabama, you can still get him too. So there's so much talent out there. We need another edge rusher too. So, all right, you guys. Hail the Commanders. Peace.